What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of the HexxedPhenom Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, aka HexxedPhenom, and joining me is the abstract rocker, JP. JP, what's up?
Man, it's going, and I gotta say, when I step foot in here, obviously besides the 24-hour stream, it's the first time in person that we were recording since probably February 2020, I'd say. So
Something
it's been
like that,
a year and a half. Sure, the podcast game changed, but we are back.
Of course, for some of you OG fans, you might remember that we had two other podcasts that we started a couple years ago. That was Pizza and Pixels and the HPJP Show. Unfortunately, we are sunsetting those. I mean, as you guys know, those kind of had a rocky history between, not really uploading as scheduled and whatnot, and that was kind of my fault a little bit. But I think the HexxedPhenom Gamescast is a good place to reset, start fresh, and we're going to bring you the gaming news that you need to know about every single Saturday at noon Eastern on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom. And there's also a brand new channel specifically for the HexxedPhenom Gamescast. Unfortunately, that doesn't have a cool link that I could just tell you to go to.
Just mystically put in,
But yeah, so the way it's going to work, just to explain it to you guys, every Saturday at noon Eastern for the foreseeable future, I'll upload the full podcast on both my main YouTube channel and also the HexxedPhenom Gamescast YouTube channel. And then also, of course, it'll go live on podcast services around the globe, places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, really any place that you listen to your podcasts. And then specifically on the HexxedPhenom Gamescast channel, throughout the week, I'll do smaller breakdowns of some of the topics we talk about in the podcast. So, like, today, the main topic is going to be we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 showcase that happened yesterday. We're going to be giving our reactions and our thoughts of all the stuff that happened yesterday. So we'll break that into its own smaller video, and then some of the other news stories we'll kind of pair together and make them their own smaller videos that make them a little bit more consumable for you guys, but that also, hopefully, will please the YouTube algorithm on the new channel. So
we'll definitely try.
Yeah, I'm just being transparent with you guys. YouTube absolutely hates channels that don't upload every day. I don't know that we're going to always have, enough topics to have a video every day, but as long as there's a somewhat consistent stream of content on that channel, I think it'll hopefully do well. So if you guys can, please help us out. And even if you are going to listen on the main channel or listen on podcast services, head over to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast YouTube channel. And please subscribe, because that'll really help us out a ton.
Damn right.
But, yeah, with that being said, like I said, we're going to cover the biggest gaming news of the week. And, I don't know, before we get into it, GP, do you want to just talk about some of the games you've been playing recently? You've been playing anything?
I've been mainly playing catch-up with a lot of fun games.
I feel that.
Like Wreckfest, Ghostbusters. I've been really jamming MLB, which I'm ironically wearing the cap. But I've been having fun with that. I've been having fun with Tony Hawk. Trying to think of other games. I've been on PlayStation Now, hitting a lot of stuff. I've been on Zombies, of course. We've been doing some Cold War. Who knows? Maybe he'll be streaming on his main channel sometime. It's double XP, isn't it?
Yeah, starting today, I think.
That makes me very happy. I've been hitting a lot on that.
I think it's double weapon XP too.
Oh, hell yeah. So I've been hitting that. I've been contemplating like games in the future. I still have the Ghostbusters remaster to play. I still have to play the Medieval remaster. So I'm getting there. It's been a lot of catch up. And of course, I was on WWE 2K19 the other day. It was good.
Speaking of games in the future, dude, the next couple months are just stacked. The next 6 months.
It really is.
Up till March. Dude, it's fucking crazy. My wallet's gonna be crying. My wallet's gonna be fucking crying.
And it's gonna be nice and pretty fucking crazy. Of course, a lot of the news that would be related to that topic will be from the PlayStation event, because there's been a few changes. Other than that, we're just basically doing a day-to-day thing. I mean, obviously, we're still here in the pandemic. But, we're still making the best out of it and giving you some damn good content.
Hell yeah. In terms of games I've been playing, I recently finished off the platinum for the PS5 version of Saints Row the Third, which I'm not gonna lie, granted, I don't really remember much about the PS4 version, but it looks almost exactly the same.
So out of curiosity, I think this might have to do with the main topic, but so this new Saints Row game that isn't related to anything, it's just kind of
It's a reboot.
It's just a full-on reboot. Was that at the PlayStation event?
No.
Oh, okay. So we can totally just talk about it right here, right now. It's not the main event of the evening. But, well, what do you think about it? Because I think it looks pretty atrocious. That's just me. I've never been a huge fan of Saints Row, though, so that's probably a biased opinion. But that's just how I feel about it.
For me, as a Saints Row fan, I am cautiously optimistic. I mean, it looks like they're trying to kind of bridge the gap between Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3, which is where they arguably have had the biggest, well, one of the biggest discourses between the fan base. Is there's always two separate camps. It's always Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3, and it really seems like they're trying to bridge the gap between the two games, which I personally loved both of them for what they were. So I think it could be a great game. I know some people are pissed off that, the old characters aren't coming back and whatnot, but I mean, for a reboot, I mean, that makes sense. And I kind of understand that they're trying to do a more modern take on what building up a gang would be in 2021, as opposed to what building up a gang was in like 2005 when the first game came out.
Man, that was the real time. 25 to life. Nah, but yeah.
But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I was curious because I randomly just saw it when I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and I looked at the comments, and every single one was like crapping all over it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even see what it looks like, besides like some snippets and all, and I'm like,
yeah, they didn't show a ton from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've never been too big into Saints Row. Wasn't Saints Row like a version of Grand Theft Auto, basically? Isn't that their whole inspiration, was a Grand Theft Auto
Their first
Paradise?
two games were definitely like GTA clones in a sense. They definitely, I mean, yeah, they were, for all intents and purposes, GTA clones. I think they were still fun in their own right, but I mean, Saints Row 3 is definitely where they, found their own identity and, pushed that envelope a bit. And then Saints Row 4, we don't talk about Saints Row 4. They went way too fucking far in that direction with it. So I'm glad they're trying to reel it back in and bring it somewhere between Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3. Which, I mean, seeing as how the last time we really got like an open world sandbox crime game like that was GTA 5 in 2013. I mean, I think they could definitely do something good with it. Whether they deliver, I mean, we'll see. But I believe that game comes out in February, so not too far away.
Yeah, definitely not too far away. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I was just like really curious about it. I'm like, so like, did they show a lot of stuff from this? Because I was just seeing snippets, and I'm like,
they showed a CG trailer, and then they showed like, after that they showed like maybe 15 to 20 seconds of just like really hyper fast cuts of gameplay. And from what it looks like, it definitely looks like it plays like Saints Row 3 in terms of like the actual gunplay and stuff, which I mean, Saints Row 3 plays fine. I feel like as long as they kind of modernize it and make it feel a little bit smoother for, current gen consoles, I think it'll still be fun. But other than that, I think they, like, a couple days later, they put out a like dev diary type thing where they were talking about like kind of why they chose the setting that they chose, because now it's in like a southwestern like town, so like kind of like based on like Nevada and Arizona and stuff.
Wow. All right. This is going to be interesting. Okay.
So they kind of talked about their inspiration for the city, and then I think they put something else out recently, like maybe today, but I don't think it was like a video. I think it was just a blog post talking about character customization and all that kind of stuff. They didn't really show anything, but they were just like, oh, it was pretty vague, to be honest, but it was like, oh, it's the most advanced character creator we've ever had in Saints Row, and the most advanced vehicle customization and that we've ever had, and 8 different voices and all this other, basically the same thing. Like it's basically what you would expect from a new Saints Row game, considering we haven't had a new one since the PS3.
Yeah, it's been since the PS3.
Because all they've done with the PS4 was they put out Saints Row 4 Reelected, and they put out Saints Row 3 Remastered, and then they did Saints Row 3 Remastered again for PS5, which I think it's literally the exact same game. I think the only difference is the frame rate. Like it plays at 60 FPS, but all the same glitches that were there in Saints Row 3 on the PS4 are still there, which pissed me off.
That's pretty funny how they didn't even go back and fix the glitches from the PS4 version.
Yeah, especially because it came out like almost a year or more than a year later, I think.
Yeah,
they just didn't fix any of them.
What else do they have to do, you know? That's interesting, though. Yeah.
But yeah, I got the platinum on that. Of course, I've been kind of slowly grinding away at Cold War when I have the chance. Usually I don't have a ton of time to play at night, which sucks, because that's usually when all of us can get on. But sometimes in the afternoon, I'll boot up a game quick.
Yeah, I've been working on Cold War slowly, especially the PS3. See, the thing for me is I have the PS4 version, not the PS3, PS4 version and the PS5 version from my friend. So I'm trying to do a double plat, which is going to happen. It's just
I think literally the only trophies I need are the Dead Ops ones.
You did.
Oh, and the Easter egg.
I need the Easter egg on one and the Dead Ops on the other. So it's quite a time, right?
And then I think that's pretty much all I've been playing.
By God.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's not too bad. What kind of new snippets we got going on here in the gaming world, out of curiosity?
All right.
Of course, there's the main event, which is the PlayStation Showcase.
The main event and the longest thing we're going to talk about is the PlayStation Showcase. But GP, I'll give you a choice. All right. Do we want to start with... We really only have two other news stories. Do we want to start with talking about the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, or do we want to start with talking about Horizon Forbidden West not having an upgrade path from PS4 to PS5, and then now having an upgrade path from PS4 to PS5?
Let's start with Horizon, because I really don't even favor that series. This is kind of there. Let's get it out of the way. Let's see. Let's see what we got. So they didn't, and now they have, or...
Yeah, well, okay. So the controversy stems from the fact that I think it was even before the PS5 came out, PlayStation had said all of our cross-generation launch titles for PS5 will offer free upgrades from PS4 to PS5. And granted, like, the argument you can say is like, well, what is and isn't considered a launch title?
Yeah, what is and isn't.
I mean, that's the thing, is there's no consistency in the industry. Some people consider it just what comes out on the day of launch, and some people consider launch titles up to like a year after the console comes out. So, it's whatever. But Horizon was supposed to come out like, I think, well, originally it was rumored to be coming out in the summer, and then they said it was holiday 2021, and now it's got pushed to March. So
that's what created the controversy about it, right?
So everyone assumed that since it was in the launch window, that it would get the free upgrade from PS4 to PS5, because that's what they promised. And I'm not sure if they said specifically, but this part I'm not sure of. But when they mentioned free upgrades from PS4 to PS5, I think they might have legitimately mentioned Horizon specifically as a game that would have that.
Oh, okay.
And then when they came out and announced the game was up for pre-order, it did not have... Well, it had an upgrade option, but you had to either buy the digital deluxe edition for, I think, $90, or the collector's edition for, like, $200. Those were the only ways that you got... And it wasn't even an upgrade, technically. You got both versions, which is basically the same thing. But
that's pretty crazy.
So, the first part is an article from Polygon. This one's by Owen S. Good. Horizon Forbidden West has no upgrade option from PS4 to PS5. You have to buy at least an $80 digital deluxe edition to access both versions.
It's not really a lot of money when you think about it, though.
It's not, but when it was promised for free initially, I could see why everybody was pissed.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Horizon Forbidden West isn't exactly an upgradable game from PlayStation 4 to PS5, and a post outlining all the pre-purchase options for Guerrilla Games' action-adventure. Sony Interactive Entertainment revealed that buyers get versions for both consoles with one of 3 special editions starting at $80. The $69.99 standard edition for PS4 can't be patched to a PS5 version if the buyer picks up the newer console later. The PlayStation 4 version is still playable on PS5, of course, through backwards compatibility, but it will lack any of the features exclusive to the new console.
Oh, wow. All right then. That's quite an interesting way of putting it.
The differentiation makes for a confusing description of all the purchase options for Horizon Forbidden West, one that requires its own FAQ on PlayStation's website. But some PlayStation 4 owners are going a step further in their disappointment, saying that this countermands, I don't know if that's a real word or not, but that's what it says. Countermands a promise from Jim Ryan, the chief executive of Sony Interactive Entertainment, that PS5 games would be built from the ground up for that platform, and that we have an upgrade path for PS4 users to get the PS5 versions for free. Ryan said that in an interview with the Washington Post a year ago. Quote, "No one should be disappointed," Ryan said at the time. Quote, wow. "It's about people having choice. I'm really quite pleased about the situation."
Well, I think someone should go interview Jim and let him know, they should ask him how he feels about that situation right now. I think his answer might be very different. But I don't know if he ever came out about it after they called him out on it. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
I don't think he personally had anything to say about it afterwards, but well, I mean, we'll see in the second article.
They're like, well, Jim.
As it is, players have to pick up either the Digital Deluxe for $80, Collectors for $200, or Regala Edition for $260
the hell
to get access to both the PS4 and PS5 version.
The Regala.
From what I understand, well, the Digital Deluxe is self-explanatory. The Collectors is your physical thing with your steelbook, your statue, whatever. And then Regala, I think, comes with like another statue or something. I don't know.
I totally miss the steelbooks again. I really do. I would love to see Call of Duty definitely doing that, but
I don't know if it's going to become the standard or not.
Yeah.
But I know I saw there was a game recently, and I didn't think it was a big enough news story to put on, like, to talk about. And I don't remember what game it was, but it might actually be Horizon, that buying the physical collector's edition doesn't come with a disc. It comes with a digital download code for the game in the steelbook.
I feel that's exactly.
Which I mean,
that's how MLB was with the Jackie Robinson.
I guess that makes sense though, because obviously they want to be able to sell it to people that have the digital PS5, because no one's gonna say if I cared enough to get the $200 collector's edition, which I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't love it enough to pay for the $200 collector's edition. But obviously, if it came with a disc, I wouldn't buy it because I have the digital PS5. So they definitely at least thought it through in that way.
Oh yeah, that you do. You have the digital PS5. I'm like, oh yeah.
But I don't know how other games have been handling that situation, or other companies outside of Sony.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's far past the time to offer free upgrades. I mean, we're literally going on a year the consoles have been out. I know people are going to bitch and moan that they can't get a console, but the thing is, scalpers happened, and the timeline is still just as valid. That's not a good reason to exclude it. I mean, I could see the first year of these games, okay, you could have a free upgrade, but, people are going to sit here and now go, but I want a free game. It's like, well, upgrade your damn game. Like, Call of Duty's $10. I don't know, rumors for other games might be 15, 20. If you want to play the game, you might as well do it. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, it is a business. It is a business model. They need to make money. They honestly don't care at the end of the day how people feel, because it's money. Now, if people challenge it and, they throw their wallet into it, that, oh, I'm not going to pay for it. Okay, then they might consider it, but $10, for example. I don't know. That's like asking to get laughed out of a room. $10 over a whole crusade about, I need my game free. It's like, who cares? Now, in this case, with the good old Jimmy Boy saying the launch titles have a free upgrade to the PS5, all right, the guy's totally eating his words. So
yeah.
So what actually came out of this whole fucking situation? Out of curiosity.
Well, we'll get into it, but
Oh, okay.
like, I think it's interesting. It's just like, and obviously this is only going to be a problem for the next, like, I don't know, year and a half, maybe 2 years at the very most,
I give
until
it a year maybe, but yeah,
until they kind of sunset the PS4. So, but it's just like, I really do wish the industry as a whole could have came to a universal conclusion on what they were going to do when it comes to upgrades from PS4 to PS5, because it really is like
a lot of
confusing as hell for no reason.
Yeah, like a lot of devs don't even do it. Like what 2K doesn't do it, right? At least I'm pretty sure
2K you have to buy specifically a next gen version of the game.
Yeah,
you don't get access to both versions.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
well, you do if you get the like super deluxe edition,
super duper deluxe edition, but
the like $100 edition or whatever the hell it is.
And it kind of goes back to like the price point of money. You want to pay $100 for an edition of a game. Why would you not be entitled to that? Because a $70 game on PS5, you're paying $30 over. Why would you not get that? Now, having a game and expecting to get it for $10, that's a leisure compared to, oh, I just want it for free. It's like, come on, man. There's handouts everywhere, but I think people are just trying to take advantage of the situation.
It's just so weird because, like, even inside of the same company, they handle it so differently game to game that it literally makes no sense.
Exactly.
Like some games, which not technically a PS5 version, but some games will just get a free like PS5 patch. So now if you download that PS4 game,
you'll get it.
Now it'll do like 4K 60, and that's obviously free. But then there's some times where they release a new PS5 version of the game, and sometimes it's free, sometimes it's $10 to upgrade, sometimes it's $30 to upgrade because, well,
game developers said it.
Because, well, even with PlayStation, like just PlayStation itself, Miles Morales was $50 for the PS4 or PS5 version. You got both.
Oh, okay.
Then
it's not a bad deal.
So that was free, which, I mean, granted, that fits into the launch window thing that they were talking about. But then they put out a PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima, and that thing was another fucking whole controversy because it was confusing as fuck. Because it was called Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and it came with a DLC expansion. So if you already had Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, and you wanted to upgrade it to PS5, you had to buy the Director's Cut. You couldn't just buy the PS5 upgrade or just buy the DLC. If you wanted the full PS5 version, you had to pay $30 to upgrade to the Director's Cut. And then if you were on PS4 and you just wanted the DLC was, I don't remember, $20. It was really fucking confusing. But, so like they were locking the PS5 version behind this DLC expansion that not everybody wanted. Some people just wanted the PS5 enhancements and to replay through the regular story again or play the online mode or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But they locked it behind that $30 upgrade to the for the DLC pack or whatever.
Like, well, if you give me a reach around, I'll give you this. It's like, yeah,
But then, like you said, there's companies like 2K where the only way you get both of them is if you buy the $100 edition of the game. Or there's some companies that just give you PS4 to PS5 for free.
Yeah.
There's some companies that, like Activision, that'll do a cross-gen bundle where it's $10 extra and you get both versions. I think $10 is like probably the most unanimous upgrade fee or whatever you want to call it, but even still, like,
it's not a lot, when you think about it.
It's not a lot, and like I understand that this is a weird transition period where there's games coming out. The same game is coming out for both consoles, and they're, I mean, obviously they're raising the price of new games because they haven't changed in 2 generations, and games are only getting more and more expensive and harder to make. So it makes sense, but it's such a weird fucking thing.
I mean, it's honestly like with COVID, how people think you're forever going to have free testing. That clearly has ended because it's been a year and a half. The government shelled money for you to go anywhere you want at any point to get a free test. Now, that the vaccine would be available. Yada yada's available. There's so many options. Now it's, listen, you got to pay for this because it is now not a leisure because we are over the hump of where the problem was. For PlayStation 4, the 5, for example, that would be the hump, would be the release window of the console, all the problems, and they said, oh, a free upgrade. Now we're at the year window. Why would you get it for free? Nothing's free. I mean, somebody pays for it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's time, money, whether it's someone going out of their way. You know, you can't always expect these things to be free. And it seems like this game's at the end of that, like, so-and-so release window. But
well, it is, and
people,
we'll get into that.
Yeah. If people think that this would keep going, you'd have to be out of your mind because you either don't want to pay for it, you're going to make a stink about $10, or honestly, you might have to get a life with how much you're probably obsessing over this problem when developers are taking a cut of profits, give you that when they don't have to. That's just my 2 cents, but you know.
And I mean,
unless you buy a collector's edition upped edition because you pay more in, so you give them more, and and then you scratch their back, they scratch yours. That's just how business goes. Unfortunately, that's how it goes.
And I don't know, like, I just think it's a weird situation to be in. And like, gaming is a really fucking expensive hobby, and it's only getting more and more expensive.
Especially if you're on PC, where you have to keep upgrading your computer every so often. You want to keep getting much RAM, and there's always a price, just like Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price. I can't even laugh like him, or else I would totally do that right now, but I sure as hell can't do it.
But the counterpoint and I don't know if you want to call it good ending to this news story. This one is from Michael McWhorter, again at Polygon. Horizon Forbidden West will get PS4 to PS5 upgrade for free after customer blowback. Future PlayStation Studio titles will offer $10 next-gen upgrade fee.
Oh, that's PlayStation Studios.
So they're PlayStation first-party games.
Okay. I tend to,
So as of right now, sorry to cut you off, but as of right now, the games that we know of that are still coming up that will be from PlayStation Studios, that'll be PS4 to PS5, is Gran Turismo 7, which they announced the release date for that. I think it's March 5th. And then God of War Ragnarok, they confirmed will have a PS4 and PS5 version.
Plus, when I think about it, to reiterate more on the whole making a big issue about $10, that's like making a huge hill out of an anthill. But the thing is, too, you have to understand, and you should be very grateful, that $70 didn't happen during the PS4 era, because a lot of people probably wanted to up the price. Now PS5, you have $70 or that generation. So if you pay $60 for a game, why would you not pay $10 to make it 70? At the end of the day, they are going to get their cut. Whether they cut the floor from you, whether they tell you got to do this, whether they say no upgrade available, $10, you cover the cost of the next gen game, but you don't know it. That's the main part of that whole $10 thing.
Well, see, the thing that sucks though is that I wish it was that simple, where it was just like, okay, you buy the PS4 version at $60, you can pay $10 later to upgrade it. But that's not the case with every game, and that's why it's so annoying. That's why
everyone's changing, because some games are not.
Because some games, they don't offer an upgrade path at all. Like, if you buy the PS4 version, they expect you to pay now $70 more for the PS5 version. Like I said with 2K. Yep. Or like, and because like, I could see where some people would be like, well, it's so fucking hard to get a PS5. I'm just gonna buy the PS4 version of the game, and then maybe a couple months down the line they get lucky and get a PS5, and it's like, well, now I didn't buy the super duper special edition, so now if I want to play the PS5 version of the game, I'm either shit out of luck or I have to spend $70 additional. So I see why people get pissed off that everything is so fucking complicated and that it's not just simple. Like I really wish that all of the, and I mean, obviously, everyone is different, and all the companies are trying to milk more money out of you than others, but
yeah, they're definitely trying to milk more money out of you. Now this is going to be my old timer story. I mean, sure, I'm not even 30, but by the way I'm going to describe this, this will be an old-time story for a lot of people.
I think I might know where you're going with this.
So, back in the day when the PS2 was out...
Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, no, we're going way fucking back.
I thought you were going back further than that. I thought you were going to talk about the SNES days.
Oh, I could do that too, but there's a lot of memories I have in this niche of an era, which is probably why I'm picking this era. But so the PS2, red hot. The PS3 and the 360 are the next thing, right? So they're raising hell. Everyone's having a good time. So you have games that are like, well, we're gonna have an Xbox 360 version. We're gonna have a PS3 version. It could be, you can name SVR 2007. You could say Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. You could say Call of Duty. The fact is, your ass bought the PS2 version, and your ass is gonna buy the PS3 version because you want to play this game. There were no handouts.
Yeah.
There were no $10 upgrades. There were nothing. You either... Now, where my story comes in, you would have the game, and you'd ask for the new version for Christmas because someone else spends their money on it. But that's always how kids think about Christmas, because why would it not? I mean, you know, there's Santa Claus too. Ho, ho, ho. So, there was no handouts, there was no upgrades, there was no get the PS2 and 3 version when you buy this edition. Your ass was stuck buying the PS2 or the PS3 version, and you had to deal with it, unless you can get a deal online, on Amazon, which was pretty flourishing at the time. It was starting to really come out of its shell from the late 90s. But, you know, the thing is, too, it's like people, in many retrospects, and I'm not even going to get into anything, even like political, anything like that, but there are examples that people today don't know what people of yesterday had to go through that they think could easily be fixed in, say, a $10 transaction. You know, back in the day, it was like, oh yeah, you know, I have the PS2 version of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Man, that Xbox 360 version looks fire. I have both consoles. Damn, man, I gotta get $60 so I can buy this game. That's just how it was. If not, you didn't play the game.
That's the thing is, like, it's definitely, like...
People have it made today.
Yeah.
In that retrospect, not
I will
all
agree.
the others.
People in all walks of life today are definitely way more entitled than they used to be. Because that's a good point.
Way more.
That's not where I originally thought you were going with it, but that's a great point. Is that, yeah, if you bought the PS2 version of a game and then you wanted the PS3 version, we were paying an extra $60 no matter what.
I remember Doom. Well, Doom had its own versions. I'm thinking of Fear.
Well, that was another thing. Is that
there was a lot of other retrospects of it.
The nice thing about this PS4 to PS5 thing is that outside of, like, you know, resolution and frame rate and, like, graphics, the games are exactly the same. A lot of times if you got a PS2 version of a game, sometimes it was completely different from a PS3 version of the game because they were just outsourced to a different company and they made a completely different fucking game.
Like Call of Duty Black Ops 3. That happened later in life, but that's the exact same thing in a different retrospect. Black Ops 3 being handed to...
Yeah.
Who made the PS3 version? Please tell me it wasn't Beanox, right?
It might have been.
Oh, that's okay. They redeemed themselves with that Crash Bandicoot.
To be fair, honestly, what probably happened is they probably got handed the black. They were probably like, "Here, you have 7 months to make this."
To make this, and you know, then there's the classic meme of next gen Richthofen diffuses this, or old gen Richthofen. My bad. I live so far in next gen that I just say next gen a lot. But old gen Richthofen diffuses this. And it just shows like this really low poly. You know, that's how it was, though. You know, like the SVR thing. And, like...
I remember how barren some of the PS2 versions of some of the later SmackDown vs. Raw games were, because I didn't get a PS3 until, like, 2010?
They got so bare, they cut online. They cut a lot of modes. They cut superstars in retrospects. You know... It was very interesting with the PS2, the PS3 era, and or the PS2, PSP, PS3 era, because you had incentives.
I remember PSP versions of games
each
too.
Version from SOCOM to WWE, You could have exclusive superstars. I remember Eddie Guerrero was an exclusive. I remember Jake the Snake Roberts was an exclusive. Sure, I hacked codes on a PS2. That's just how I did it. But to do that normally, you would have to go and have a PSP and just link cable this shit together, and that's how it went. But yeah, I don't think people realize in any retrospect and point in time, even like me talking as a 29 going on 30, to how it would have been 40 years ago. Many retrospects, from food, you name it. But the thing is, as things go, you have more opportunities, and you should be grateful for those opportunities. That $10 thing is a great example. Sure, you even out the $10 to get the $70 game, you get a digital upgrade and pop the disc in. You're basically just like if I went and bought the PS5 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 when it comes out. You'd be at the same level I am. You just upgraded from that and you paid $10. We both paid $70.
Yeah.
If that's how it goes. But, it's just, I wish people were just more logical in what they're doing instead of just complaining and whining and bitching. I'm glad they got their way on the topic we're talking about. It's just
the Horizon thing specifically made a lot of sense for there to be outrage about it.
This made a lot of sense to be outraged. And I'm sure many people could agree. People get triggered by everything anymore, and there's always an outrage, and there's always a controversy and a conspiracy. But you should probably just step back from all that just to be like, damn, they're offering me $10. I don't have to pay $70 like the PS2, the PS3, the Xbox 360 era and stuff like that. Even going into the 360 to the next gen of that, you still had to pay for the same game if it got remastered. You didn't get a free
That's true, yeah.
You didn't get a free copy.
There was
even
like
PS3 to 4. You didn't get a free copy.
I think the only game I can remember off the top of my head that actually had an upgrade path was Call of Duty Ghost.
There are some. Call of Duty Ghost had one. There was some.
Thinking back on it, like we love to make fun of Activision now for being so fucking money hungry, but they were like one of the only people I remember doing anything like that when the PS4 first came out.
It's crazy how things change and people and businesses change, but you can't help them but like remember what they did.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that. But nowadays it's like, you don't get that free next gen upgrade. Well, what the fuck, Activision? You can't be doing that. It's like, guys, do you remember Call of Duty Ghost? We were the good guys. We gave you a free copy on day one.
The place I thought you were going to go originally was, I thought you were going to talk about how back in like the NES and SNES days about how there was no universal price for video games. So developers could literally charge whatever the fuck they wanted. And if you account for inflation, there was like some like Nintendo games literally costed like over $100.
Some games were absolutely
like for no reason, dude. Like
it was out of line. It was crazy. I was thinking about it, but then I thought about like my own experiences, and I'm like, well, I think that's probably a more important at retrospect. It's like my own experience in that. But that's a good example. Developers could just set the price for anything. Yeah, you want this game? Give me like $85. What? Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Cutthroat as hell because
like,
they had to make money.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't really alive when like those games were being sold for new. So I don't know what the prices like actually weren't back in the day. But I remember like a while ago I saw some article that it was like it was some type of like video or like a circular, like a newspaper advertisement for like a bunch of like new games that were coming out. And it showed all their prices, but it showed them like adjusted for inflation. And there was some NES games that were like $110 and like $90, but then there was some that was like $40. But like a lot of them were like 80, 90, 100. Some of them were like over 100, and I'm just like, for just a regular NES game, like nothing special about it, just Mario or tennis or fucking wrestling.
That's the thing. The major brands and the major players had their games highly priced more, but people at the time didn't care. So why do they care now? No one cares at this point. I mean, video game industry has been going on for the longest time. You think right now they're going to sit back and be like, what if they don't want to pay that $10? That's not even a concern to them. They're probably thinking, how can we up the ante to make them pay even more?
100%. The whole like thing with this is, And I mean, the whole reason this situation even exists in the first place is Sony was like, can we get away with this? Can we get away with charging them $10 for this game? Because technically, now that it's delayed, it's not in launch window anymore. So can we get away with it? And clearly they didn't, but they tried. And I mean...
They tried. You know, they always do.
I mean, business is about money. No matter what business you're in, people will try to charge you as much as they possibly can for the least amount of work. I mean, not that video games take a fuck ton of work, don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But like, if every company could get away with 2K being like, yeah, you only get both editions if you buy the $100 edition. If every company could get away with that, I'm sure they would.
I'm sure they would. I mean, hell, a good example in modern times would be like SpongeBob. There's an episode where Mr. Krabs tries to overcharge for the Krabby Patty. He keeps upping the ante, and they keep buying, so he keeps upping the ante, and then at the end of the episode, he has all this money, but he ruined his reputation because he kept charging almost so much for that, or just doing like the deep fried grease. You remember that episode?
Yeah.
A crusty crunchies or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's been in front of us all these years, whether it's cartoons, reality, or video games. You know, there's always going to be the moneymakers. It's funny, and they'll do anything they can to push you to pay more for that product. Yeah, sure, they'll destroy their reputation, but they don't care. It's sad, but that's greed.
Yeah.
It's sad.
All right, well, this is a great conversation, but I'm going to reel it back in to specifically talking about Horizon. So, like I said, it will now have a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5. SIE president and CEO Jim Ryan announced the change in an update posted to Sony's PlayStation blog, saying it's abundantly clear the offerings we confirmed on our pre-order kickoff missed the mark. Last year, Ryan indicated in an interview with the Washington Post that, quote, we have an upgrade path for PS4 users to get the PS5 versions for free. According to Ryan's statement on the PlayStation blog, this offer was intended to be limited to cross-generation launch titles appearing on PS5. And then they have an excerpt from Ryan's statement on the PlayStation blog. It says, quote, last year we made a commitment to deliver free upgrades for our cross-gen launch titles, which included Horizon Forbidden West. While the pandemic's profound impact pushed Forbidden West out of the launch window we initially envisioned, we will stand by our offer. Players who purchase Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4 will be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. I also want to confirm today that moving forward, PlayStation first-party exclusive cross-gen titles, newly releasing on PS4 and PS5, both digital and physical, will offer a $10 USD digital upgrade option from PS4 to PS5. This will apply to the next God of War and Gran Turismo 7 and any other exclusive cross-gen PS4 and PS5 titles published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, end quote.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. Hey, at least they got their upgrade from that. I'm just trying to think of like the whole retrospect of everything going on. Like, I'm glad they got that. Is that did I really just see that?
Yeah.
Was all right. I think it's time for the next news topic.
So the next news topic won't be as long, but we're gonna touch a little bit on. I can never remember the name of this game. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. GP, do you know anything about this game?
I heard. Okay. There's kind of a little bit of a story. All right, so everybody that loves Nickelodeon has loved or does love or at least knows of Cartoon Network. So Cartoon Network had their own game called Punch Time Explosion. It was I liked it. I mean, I got it for like $15. I liked it. It was cool. It was
Is that the one we played co-op in?
Ban. Yep, that was it.
Okay.
That was the one. Me and him played co-op. I ended up platinuming it. It was really fun. It was different.
That game was like a side scroller beat 'em up type game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like Super Smash Brothers, but Cartoon Network and a different engine. But I heard Nickelodeon was going to dip their feet in the water, and I was like, I'm not too interested, but I think people would like it. I was more so intrigued in the racing game they put out, probably in the past like 5 months or so.
Oh, I bought it. It's not good. It's not very good.
The sequel I like a lot. Ellis had the original. And I thought it was pretty fun. It was a build of progress, but
I mean,
we both bought the sequel, and I'm like, This is nice. I'm trying to show Bree that game. We haven't had a lot of time to play that, so. But yeah, it's a really good game. So I heard Nickelodeon was doing like a Brawl game, and I was interested. So I'm guessing this is the. Is this the final product?
Well, the game's not out yet. But,
it's not out yet. Okay.
So the game is called Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is a very confusing name.
Brawl.
But it literally, like, from the gameplay snippets they've shown, it's literally like exactly like to a T Super Smash Brothers, just with Nickelodeon characters. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if like in execution the game is gonna be good, but the concept sounds really fucking cool. And like I suck at Super Smash Brothers, but it's a ton of fun when you play with friends. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what this game comes out to be. Like, the actual article that I pulled up doesn't really have anything to do with it. I just wanted to touch base on it.
I was just curious about that. Okay, cool.
The article is about, it says a SpongeBob SquarePants meme made it into Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Meme makers rejoice!
But the reason I picked this article in particular was because they've been, like, kind of slowly announcing, like, new characters for the game, and they've been, on their social media, they've been showing, like, the movesets for the different characters. And the thing that Smash Brothers always does that fans just eat up is that, like, the characters, almost all of their fighting moves are, like, obscure-ass references, like, to things that happened in one of their games. Like obviously, like, you know, there's surface level stuff, like, you know, one of Mario's, like, attacks is, you know, he throws a fireball, like, whatever.
Yep.
But then there's also, like, the cape from Super Mario World is his up B, and like all of this like obscure stuff that like goes through the history of the character. And I think that's one of the things that Smash Brothers does super well. And it seems like they're definitely trying to do that with Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, because the only move lists I saw was Patrick and SpongeBob. I'm gonna see if I could actually see them on Twitter. But like, a bunch of the moves are references to SpongeBob episodes. Like, one of Patrick's moves is the freaking ice cream cone where he dives down, and like the...
Of course, right. Cartoon Network with
him all big and buff, like from the fucking...
Yeah, they like have
Krusty
their
Games or whatever.
Yeah, they have their like best moments in the cartoon, but it's like over the top because obviously a Brawl video game, you got to make it look intense. Well, what PlayStation? I never gave a fuck about this game, but PlayStation had All Stars Battle Royale. Have you played? Did you play that game when it came out? That's probably a while ago at this point.
I played it on. Was it free on PlayStation Plus at some point, maybe, or on PlayStation Now? Maybe I played it.
I think it was free on PlayStation Plus at one point.
But I played it. I didn't really like it. I thought the roster was kind of garbage, in my opinion, like from what I remember. And I mean, granted, like, that was around the time where I didn't really have like any sort of income to be buying a bunch of games. So like the only people I really recognized from like, I recognized some people, but I didn't have like I knew Jak and Daxter were like big PlayStation characters, but I didn't give a shit about them because I had never played Jak and Daxter at that point. Well, I still never played Jak and Daxter. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. I've been meaning to get the what is it called, the Precursor Legacy or whatever. That like
I think it's that
trilogy that they did or whatever.
Jak and Daxter is interesting. I never fully got into it, but I do remember when it first came out. And I do well, Jak X Racing, that shit was pretty cool. Yeah, Jak and Daxter had a lot of good moments in gaming, I'd say. They kind of turned the tide in the new millennium when I think about it. Wow. Well, that looks... Wow, they actually showed, like, a full thing of their moves. Wow.
Yeah. And so, like... with SpongeBob, there's a lot of references to Battle for Bikini Bottom in here. And, like, some of the other SpongeBob games. The spin attack, the jellyfish swing, the karate uppercut, like, imagination. Like, there's so many references to the shows in here. Or like with Patrick, there's the belly bump from Battle for Bikini Bottom. There's the laser coming out of his ass. The laser. Star wheel, which I think is from the movie Game or whatever. The trophy on his head.
The star spin. The ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone.
I think it's interesting knowing they're trying a Brawl game at this point. I don't really know if it's... I don't know if many people would even be open to it at this point. I feel like they missed the boat on that. I think this game would have been great when Punch Time Explosion came out.
No, a lot of people on social media seem really pumped about the game.
They seem really pumped about it. I was going to say...
And the thing I think they're doing right is, like, on the surface, when they first announced it, I thought it was just going to be like a Smash Brothers clone and nothing else, which, I mean, it is, but, like, the thing that I think they're doing really well is, as opposed to PlayStation All-Stars, where it seemed like they were like, let's make something similar to Smash Brothers, but, like, just far enough away from it that we don't get, like, absolutely roasted, which, I mean, they still did anyways because it wasn't a good game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was
but this game literally is just Smash Brothers, but what they're doing is they're taking the things that people loved from the older Smash Brothers games that Nintendo took out because Nintendo is Nintendo, and they're putting them in the game. So, like, this is going to be a really, like, in-depth thing, but I know that the fighting game community, like, in terms of, like, pro, like, fighting game players, in their opinion, the best Super Smash Brothers game is Melee, which is the one from the GameCube.
That's from 2001.
Because there was so many, like, advanced tactics that you could use in that game. Like, there was this thing called wave dashing, which I don't completely understand what it is. Yeah. But I know it's, like, a really fast way to move around the map.
Yeah, it's a very interesting method that I never... My cousin mastered it, but I never did.
But since Melee, Nintendo took it out. And it hasn't been in a game since then.
It's kind of weird how it hasn't been in.
Well, they did it because Nintendo felt that it was unfair or whatever, that it was overpowered, and that it was, unfair for newer players because they wouldn't know how to do it or whatever. So they took it out, and it hasn't been in there. In Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, there's going to be wave dashing. So there's like a lot of small things like that like you can tell that whoever the hell is making this game actually paid attention and gives a shit instead of it just being like, Smash Brothers clone. We'll just throw stuff in.
Throw some characters, some animations. All right, let's mocap. All right, cool. All right, we got a game. Sweet.
And, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but I definitely would be a Danny Phantom main. That's all I know.
That would be dope. I would be very interested in that. Without a doubt.
But, yeah, so I just thought it was fun that there's, like, references to memes and stuff, and, like, all of, like, the characters' best moments in their movesets, and I thought that was just really cool, and I think, at least so far from what we've seen, it seems like they're doing a pretty damn good job at replicating the good things about Smash Brothers, while also bringing back stuff from the old Smash Brothers games that people have been basically begging Nintendo to bring back since 2001.
Yeah. That's what's up.
But let me see if the game has a release date. I don't think it does.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a release date for this game?
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
All it says is get ready to brawl in 2021. So it's coming fall 2021. So. Is this the full roster of confirmed characters right now? I'm not sure. They have SpongeBob, they have Michelangelo, they have Sandy, they have, what the hell is it? There's two people from the Loud House. I don't fucking know their names. Real Monsters, Invader Zim, Danny Phantom, April O'Neil, French Toastman, Helga, Cat Dog, Reptar, Nigel Thornberry, Leonardo, and Patrick. So I guess that's the confirmed roster as of right now. It low-key makes me sad to see Danny Phantom always involved in all these games, and yet they just threw him out to fucking pasture.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't really do much, like, in that retrospect.
Although, well, there's a bunch of...
It's sad, but hey...
There's a bunch of different characters from different series in there that are just dead. Like, Helga's in there from Hey Arnold. One of the Real Monsters is in there.
Helga Pataki. I think if she's in the game, I think one of her moves should be she should pull out the. Have you watched Hey Arnold?
I watched it when I was like really young. I don't.
So
I probably don't remember much of the show.
So many people know that she has a bubblegum statue shrine of Arnold
I know that.
in her closet. So I think what would be funny is if they had a move with her, a finishing move, where she has the top head dongle piece that she pulls out of the whole shrine and starts hitting people with it.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be kind of funny because she sits there and makes out with it in the show. Why not hit people with it, you know?
That'd be interesting. I don't know if they confirmed it or showed anything about it yet, but I wonder if people have finishing moves in the game, because that's another thing that Smash introduced more recently. I don't really know how the community feels about them, so I don't really know. If they're trying to really appeal to like the hardcore fighting game community, I don't know if they'll have finishing moves or whatever in the game. In Smash, they're called Final Smashes, which I think they got introduced in Brawl.
The Final Smash, yeah, I know Melee definitely didn't have finishing moves. Oh, yeah, boy.
But, yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I thought it looked interesting. Yeah, maybe as we learn more, we can touch base again and talk a little bit about it. But we are going to get into the main event.
The main course. Here we are. No appetizers included. We are here to chow down on this information, and I'm curious. I already know one major point that, man, it's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised it happened.
For me, the PlayStation Showcase overall, you didn't watch the actual showcase, did you?
I didn't watch the actual showcase, so all the reactions you see here besides that one topic are going to be completely on the spot.
So I watched the showcase, and originally I was thinking about streaming my reactions, but I chose not to because I knew we were going to be doing the podcast today, which, because of something that got revealed late in the thing, I really regret not having streamed it. But we'll get to it.
I was at work.
But I thought overall, like in terms of the stream, I mean, there was a ton of huge announcements. I just thought the pacing was a little bit weird. Anybody that watched it will know, like, normally for a press conference of some kind, you kind of want to like sprinkle in your big announcements and then have something like smaller right after to like let everyone calm down and kind of have your like highs and lows like that. But for some reason they like opened with a banger, and then for like 35 minutes it was like not all like slow and like I wouldn't say bad announcements, but like smaller announcements. There were some like slightly bigger ones thrown in, but the bigger ones were games that we already knew about that they were just showing again. But then right in the last like 7 minutes, one of the PlayStation people showed up, Herman Holst, and he's like, okay, he's like, now we're going to show you all of the, now we're going to show you all of the PlayStation Studios games. And so then one right after another, like 4 right in a row, banger after banger. And I was like, fuck. I just thought the pacing was a little bit weird for it to be like, so it started super high and then it was just like kind of slow in the middle. And then right at the end it was like boom, 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 boom. And it was just like, oh, fuck.
Bag.
So let's just see. So the first announcement was...
Oh, is this the... I heard Knights of the Old... Was that at this...
That was the very start. So they started with Knights of the Old Republic remake being made by Aspyr Studios. And that is timed exclusive on PS5. So, and that's the first time that KOTOR will ever be on a PlayStation console.
I was going to say, a lot of my friends are like, well, not going to lie, I think I need to get a PS5. And of course, the thing they shared with it was the Old Republic thing. And I'm like, well, I never cared about the game much when it came out. Like, I played it. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. Like, I'll watch the movies and whatever. Byers had it back in the day for the Xbox. Yeah. So it was an interesting game. I just wasn't fully inept to it. And it looks pretty cool nowadays. I'm not too interested, but I'm sure people are going to love it without a doubt.
If I remember correctly, it is the game that pretty much put BioWare on the map, which obviously they went on to then do Mass Effect and everything after that.
Let's say, yeah, BioWare made their debut with this game, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was their first game, but it was their first like major success.
Game. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I know there's like a big twist at the end of the game that everybody, I don't know if everybody loves, but I know it's very controversial, I think, from what I remember. But I mean, I never played it. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, but I've heard so many good things about this game that I feel like I basically have no choice but to check it out when it does release. There was no date or anything like that. It was just Knights of the Old Republic remake coming to PS5.
That's pretty dope. That's a good way to start it. That's something I don't think many people knew was happening. I was kind of blown away. I knew it was probably going to be remade at some point.
Yeah,
there's many games.
I mean, it had been rumored for so long that it was like, it's one of those, is it really ever going to happen?
It's
type
a
of
matter
things.
of time kind of thing. Yeah.
But I think the only inkling of anything that we knew is that there had been a rumor going around that Aspyr was working on something related to Knights of the Old Republic, but I think a lot of people assumed it was going to be a sequel of some kind or a reboot or a prequel. I think people thought it was going to be a prequel. So then the next thing they showed was a trailer for Project Eve. Looks like a new IP from a Korean developer. It's an action-adventure game similar to Bayonetta, which, I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It looks like Bayonetta mixed with, like... I mean, it looks a lot like Bayonetta, but it's also, like, similar to some of the old, like, the older God of War games, like your hack-and-slash kind of bullshit. I don't like this website. It keeps sending me back to the fucking top every, like, 2 minutes.
One totally random thing I want to throw on there that I saw mentioned in this, I don't think it was mentioned at the event, but Twisted Metal is apparently coming back in 2023.
That was announced beforehand. I don't even know if it was officially announced by PlayStation.
It wasn't even announced by anybody. Just insiders are like
leaking but insiders are saying
it's in early development.
Well, there had been a rumor, right, that they were making like a TV show or a movie, right?
The TV show was coming. I knew a reboot would probably happen. I think personally, if they did Twisted Metal Black and they built into that, I think that'd be a great way to bring the series back. One thing they can't do is they cannot replicate the PS3 game. That game just was not good. It was overhyped as hell, and it died within 1 year of release. The servers, I think, were turned off within 2 years. It just died. It was unfortunate, but I'm excited to see that back. Isn't Netflix the head honcho of the TV series?
I don't remember.
I was just like, I know there's a lot of rumbling talking. I think it was.
I don't know if
somebody has that.
Oh, actually, there's a tweet right here about it. A new Twisted Metal game is in development to coincide with the upcoming TV series. At Jeff Grubb reports, this matches what I've heard separately from my own sources.
I'm surprised one bit.
I think I don't know if Netflix has anything to do with the actual development of the show. I think they might just have streaming rights.
I think they're the one that are streaming it. I heard it was being done for a big streaming service, and usually Netflix is the major. Obviously, there's many nowadays, but back when it started, I think it was just Netflix. I don't see Hulu getting a hold of that. They're not TV. Yeah.
Good then after that, this one I'm excited for. New Borderlands. Well, they say new Borderlands game unveiled. But this game was announced previously. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, it's a spin-off of Borderlands that kind of focuses on, it's kind of based around like Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of stuff. I don't really care about the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I just am hyped for more Borderlands. Yeah, I really like Borderlands 3.
I'm sure John will definitely be a fan of that.
The background music of the trailer was done by Baby Metal, and I don't really care for Baby Metal a lot, but it really it fit the trailer really well, to be honest with you.
That's pretty cool. The Border.
So I'm excited for that one. That game, I think it's coming in March. They announced, I believe, March 23rd, somewhere around there. Next trailer for Forspoken was revealed. This is a game from Square Enix. It's like. It looks similar to Final Fantasy in a way, but it's like it's kind of like a cross between. Normally, Final Fantasy is like not always, but I feel like a lot of times it delves more into like the medieval type of stuff, whereas this game is like definitely more of like it's this girl ripped out of her like modern world, thrown into this more like high fantasy type thing, and the traversal in the game looks awesome. She's like, swinging from shit and like
She's going
flying
wild.
and gliding around. It looks pretty cool. I mean, Square Enix games typically aren't for me. Like, I like Final Fantasy VII Remake a lot, and the combat looked similar in a way, like, to that. So I don't know. I'm not sure if the Forspoken is for me or not, but it definitely looked cool.
Nice.
After that, a new trailer for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, which is a game that I feel like we've seen a ton of already.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have another thing for it. I mean, I'm sure it looks great. The thing about the Tom Clancy games that are absolutely astounding to me is that all the games practically were released after he died. I think with the exception of maybe 4, he's been dead for a while. He's a great writer. I just don't know.
Do you think that like his name being attached to it actually sells those games anymore?
No. Not at all. No. I was about to get into that. Tom Clancy's a really good writer. These games and all these concepts are taken from the books that he wrote before he died, and he publicized them and all that stuff for the first few games. And then he died, and ever since then, I guess they just kept keeping his name on it because he's the one that created the concept that led to the game. I'm assuming. It's interesting to this day how you still have Tom Clancy Rainbow Six. Like, I am amazed they keep his name. His name does not sell these games.
Yeah.
If anything, the visuals sell the game.
Because, like,
yeah.
honestly, until I looked into it, my whole life, I literally didn't even realize that Tom Clancy was, like, an author. I just thought it was, like... I thought Tom Clancy was, like... more of like an overarching universe, and then the subtitle was like kind of like how I kind of thought Tom Clancy was basically like how people say like, oh, the MCU, but then the MCU has its own sub movies.
Yep.
I kind of thought it was like, oh, Tom Clancy just meant it was all in one universe, and then it's, oh, Rainbow Six means like, oh, you're getting a game based around Rainbow Six, or you're getting a game based around The Division, or you're getting a game based around whatever the hell else they do with Tom Clancy.
Back in the day on the first few games, I'm glad they don't do this stupid shit anymore. But and if you're looking at the game cover, if you're looking at it right in front of you on the left side, going down the one ticket, you would see a runner that says Tom Clancy's, and I'm like, dude, I mean, like, it's cool, but no one's buying it because they read a book by Tom Clancy 25 years ago. It's just, I'm glad that they kept his name on there as, like, a memorial to him and, like, what he created for them, because without him and that concept, they would not be making these games. So I think it's cool they still keep his name on just for that purpose, but does his name sell the game? No. He's just the universal author they based it off of. That's basically it. Like R.L. Stine. They made a shooter about Goosebumps or something. You would see R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, yada yada, It's a nice tagging for it, but yeah. I'm glad they showed more of it. It doesn't look the same as it was before.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
It looks pretty good. I haven't played a Rainbow Six game since the original, but Rainbow Six has always been good.
I could have swore that, like, this game was meant to be coming out soon, but the date, or at the end of the trailer, it said January 2022, so I'm not sure if it got delayed or not. I could have swore it was supposed to come out in, like, October or November, so I don't know if it got delayed or not. I could just be stupid, but I didn't see anyone on social media being like, sucks this got delayed, so I guess maybe that was just, it's been January 2021 for a while. I don't remember. Then we see a trailer for Alan Wake Remastered, which this was like kind of confirmed and teased like way before the Sony event a couple days ago. So the beloved Xbox 360 title is returning, and this time on PS5 and PS4. I believe this is the first time Alan Wake has ever been on PlayStation, so that's cool. And it's coming out pretty soon. It's like October 5th. So
nice.
I don't really remember much of the discourse around the game. I know a lot of people loved it, and it's like some sort of like psychological horror game type thing. Definitely interesting. It didn't look that great to me. Like, it didn't... I mean, granted, I never played the original game, so I don't know, like, how the graphics looked on that. But it didn't look too crazy. But, like, it's just a remaster. They're just remastering the old game. And after that, they showed GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced, which I have some strong opinions about.
Here goes, this is the one topic of... the thing that I knew was probably going to be talked about, shown, or something speculated. It's Grand Theft Auto.
Well, firstly, it got delayed until March.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come November 17th. Now it's coming, I think they just said March 2022. There's no new date.
Yeah, and so basically, if you follow a lot of gaming with Grand Theft Auto, you know that there's also the Remastered trilogy that's in development, which is more than likely going to happen because everybody's confirmed it but the main people. So that basically means that now, you know, I'm ready for next-gen Grand Theft Auto 5. Without a doubt, I love Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, it's like a timeless game. Well, it's like Tony Hawk and stuff like that, but you know, thinking about where it's at and where it got delayed to, you know, it's definitely going to be worth the wait, at least for me, ideally. The only thing that sucks is now that that's happening, there's no way in hell they're going to put all those out at once. So you're going to be probably waiting until the end of summer for probably the trilogy remaster, if it is
Maybe
in fact
even longer than that.
Maybe even maybe till fall. So yeah, they're definitely not going to just bomb you with like Grand Theft Auto 5 and all 3 remastered. There's no way it's going to divide people too much. So you're going to be waiting longer for that remaster, which really, really sucks in both retrospects of the trilogy and Grand Theft Auto. But if you're on PlayStation, you have the advantage of getting free money. You get an extra $1 million every single damn month. So
yeah, and they mentioned that they are extending that until the game comes out again. So that's cool, I guess. But I don't know. Like, to me, calling it expanded and enhanced when it's essentially just a port of the PC version kind of pisses me off. I mean, granted, like, it's possible that there still is more that they're not talking about.
I can't wait to see the expanded part of it. That's
yeah, like,
cool.
Enhanced, sure, you know, 4K 60, whatever, great. Cool. And I mean, not to understate, 60 FPS on a console is what I've been asking for GTA since, like, the PS3. Because the game was not locked at 30. It was capped at 30, but it almost never could consistently hit that, especially in GTA Online. Not even on the PS4 or on the PS4 Pro, which, I mean, it didn't have PS4 Pro enhancements anyways, but the game just fucking struggled.
It made the rendering, the loading of this game just a little bit better, because you can tell by right now it is on its last leg on PS4 and Xbox-ish. You can tell it's on its last leg.
I was expecting a little more, because the rumors that had been swirling from insiders was that they were porting the game to the Red Dead 2 engine, and that's what it was going to continue to run on. And that's what GTA Online would continue to run on, you know, going forward. Definitely doesn't look like that.
Okay, clearly that is definitely not the case unless it's a low-res version of that engine, but it looks... I'm just hoping the combat is a bit evolved. Like I said, I'm not hard to please with this.
I want to know what expanded means, because enhanced, like I said, yeah, 4K 60, great, whatever.
I think honestly,
I want to know what expanded means.
I think expanded is just going to be like more single player stuff. You're going to have more upgrades in cars that people
honestly
can't get. It's going to be interesting.
Honestly, and I'm very cynical at this point, I think expanded is going to mean that at the most, I think the story content that you'll get
single player
will be... I don't think it'll be new missions or anything. I think it'll literally just be all of the stuff that has been added to online over the past couple of years, you'll be able to buy in story mode. So, like, all the cars and all the new guns and stuff, I think that's literally going to be it.
I'm hoping they at least give you something for offline. Like, just some...
I hope so, too, because otherwise the only thing getting expanded is Rockstar's fucking wallet. Because...
Yep.
I don't know.
Hopefully GTA Online delivers pretty well too, because there is next-gen exclusives like car upgrades and skins and stuff that...
Yeah, they said that there will be exclusive car performance upgrades on PS5, which basically, from what I understand, it basically just means that probably like the top speed that you can move in GTA Online in cars is capped out at a certain point because of how slow the PS4 loads the city around you. So just, I guess, with the SSDs, they'll be able to load the city faster, meaning you'll be able to move faster.
I can't wait.
So
the load times...
That'll be interesting, but like...
The load times in general, I think, are the thing I'm most excited about besides the graphic overhaul.
I don't even, like... The story mode, even if you just play the backwards compatible version, story mode loads almost instantly on PS5. So I don't even know how much they can improve that. But the thing with online is, like, I feel like the long loading times are more or less based on the servers more than it is the hardware. Like, the hardware definitely has something to do with it, but I think it's mostly going to be dictated by the server. So I don't even know if we'll see that huge of an improvement on load times in online, at least compared to the PS5 backwards compatible version to the actual PS5 version. That's just me, but like right now, like if I launch GTA on the PS5 and I go in like into story mode, you know how it says the percentage on the bottom right corner will be like loading story mode 10, 20%, 30%.
All that stuff.
It literally gets to, before it even gets to 20%, it's loaded into story mode. So I don't know how much faster I can really get unless there's just going to be no loading screens into story mode.
God, that'd be so dope. Oh God, that could be a possibility.
But even still, slightly shorter load times is not going to get me to pay $70 for the game. Which I really hope they don't charge full price for this game if you already own it. There's no fucking way I'm buying this game if I have to pay full price for it.
It just doesn't go, Josh, I bought us both the Grand Theft Auto 5 Expanded Edition.
Literally, unless someone buys it for me, what I'll do, because they reiterated on the Rockstar Newswire that when it launches, GTA Online will be free to play for PlayStation Plus members for 3 months.
Yep.
So I'll play that for 3 months, and then I'll just
get the online.
I'll just buy the online because at least it'll be cheaper. Because it
will be fucking shit up online.
I really have no drive to play the single player if it doesn't have. Even if it had a new DLC, I still probably wouldn't be convinced enough to spend $70 on it. But and keep in mind, guys, I love GTA 5. I'm just so like, we waited 8 fucking years for the game to look barely any different, to look exactly like the PC version. Like, come on.
As long as I can experience something better than the PS3 and 4 version, I'm down. But I'm just that guy.
Because to me, it's like,
I'm hoping that I hope that $20 expansion or whatever is true, though. That kind of would make sense. If I have to go buy it on PS5, then fuck it, I'll just trade the PS4 version and but am I gonna get much for it now? No, but it'd be out of my hands. So I honestly, I'd probably sell it on fucking Amazon or something.
Granted, it depends on what they actually mean by expanded, but from the way it looks right now, I would have much rather them just have not remastered GTA 5 and just been working on GTA 6.
Yeah.
Because the sad thing is that they're clearly putting a ton of resources into this if they had to delay it 4 months. So clearly, like, they're putting a lot of work into this. Doing what? I don't fucking know.
I have a feeling they're probably going to come out in, like, January, like, all right, guys, this is it. This is what we've been working on. Arthur, I gotta play.
Well, by God, Arthur.
I gotta play it.
I gotta play it.
Pulls the game out. I gotta play it.
I just imagine frickin' somebody walking into the CEO's office at Take-Two like, by God, Arthur, we're going to charge $70 for these games.
By God, Arthur, as they trip out the door. By God.
But yeah, we'll see as that gets closer to release, but I'm not happy with the trailer that they showed, personally.
I'm actually amazed they showed a trailer. I was expecting screens or something. That's cool, we got a trailer.
After that, Sony showed off a new trailer for Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a bizarre psychological action horror title from Bethesda.
Well, that's interesting. I like the gimmicks of the masks and the crazy effects on it. It was very edgy.
They've showed the game a couple times before. I still don't think there was a release date for it, but come on with this fucking website. After that, they showed another trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
How's that looking? In your own opinions, I know you're into a lot of that.
Oh, jeez. I think it looks okay. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as Spider-Man. But, I mean, I think the one thing that I will say that they made a good decision with is that after seeing the horrible, the fuck, in my opinion, horrible game that is Marvel's Avengers, I appreciate that this game is a single-player only game, and you only play as Star-Lord, who's like the main like head honcho of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you control your other partners through basically just like through button prompts. So you'll press a certain button and it'll, like, you know, tag whatever enemy you're aiming at for Gamora to attack or for Groot to attack them and stuff like that. So I appreciate they went that direction with it. And I mean, it seems like they're definitely hitting the vibe that Guardians of the Galaxy, especially in the MCU, brings. I mean, it's the exact same like cast of characters from the MCU, so it's clearly inspired by the MCU. But it looks just different enough and interesting enough that I think it'll be good. I'm not entirely sold on getting it right at launch, but from what I've seen, they definitely like have the vibe right of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
At least they got the vibes right, you know. At least they're in the same. At least they're playing in the right stadium.
Yeah. It definitely has like the same humor and stuff that you would expect from all that, like from the MCU versions of the characters. After that, they showed a trailer for a game called Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, which is an online game set in the vampire universe, which there was a game, I don't know how many other games are in the universe, but there was a game that came out a few years ago, I want to say, called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I want to say it was called.
So you're telling me that I could be a vampire?
Yeah.
There's
basically, from what the trailer showed, it seems like there's at least 3 different factions of like characters that you can play as. You can pick like different I don't know if you want to say like characters to play as that have different abilities. So like you can play as like a Nosferatu who's like he can jump around and do all this crazy shit, or you can play as more of like a heavy type vampire, and there's like soldiers, like just regular soldiers, and then there was I don't remember what the other faction they showed was. I mean, it looked interesting. It's definitely not something that I'm gonna play personally, but if you're into that universe, I could see people being excited about it. They also showed another new trailer for Deathloop, which, I mean, it looks like a great game. I think it's going to be a great game. But, man, I have seen way too much of Deathloop at this point. Like, they have showed this game so many goddamn times, and it's literally coming out in like, a week. I don't think they needed to show another trailer for it.
They're probably, let's just stack the whole thing.
I think they did it because Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are 2 games that PlayStation entered into timed exclusivity contracts with Bethesda before they were bought by Microsoft. So I think they're trying to push them as hard as possible to be like
exclusive.
Well, I mean, they are already exclusive, but they want to be like, hey, these are the last 2 Bethesda games that will probably ever be on a PlayStation system. So like,
you got to come buy these right now.
Yeah. Show them they fucked up by going with Microsoft type of thing.
That is great.
The only other Bethesda game that I think is coming to a PlayStation system is they're remastering Skyrim again.
Wait, they're not making a new Sky? Wow.
They are making Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, well, that's...
But they're putting out... Some other studio is re-releasing Skyrim for like the 75th time on PS5.
People will totally go and buy the crap out of it, just like me buying GTA.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a ton of people that will. I played Skyrim I tried to play it a couple different times. The furthest I ever got was maybe like 3 or 4 hours in. I'm just not a huge fan of RPGs in general. So like, Fallout, I tried a bunch of times to get into. I can't get into it. Same thing with the Elder Scrolls games.
I actually remember when Skyrim like came out, and I just remember my roommate at the time, his name was Marius. I remember at the time I would see this kid like a bunch of times on a daily basis. When this game came out, I did not see him for probably 2 weeks.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And the only time that I saw him was I came back from a party one night, so as you can imagine, I was feeling pretty good, and he was making food to go back to play Skyrim. So realistically, I probably didn't have any full-on interactions like I did before this came out for about a month. He was literally in his room for like a straight month. Like, he didn't even go out to parties or anything. He was just playing Skyrim. I was like, holy crap, man.
I respect that, though, because, like...
He was grinding, man.
I definitely do the exact same thing when there's games that I'm super fucking hyped for. And granted, like, I don't know. Maybe this is to my own detriment, but I will, like... call off work I'll request off work that day, and I'll just fucking sit there and just fucking grind. So I gotta respect it. So
it was a grind. It was definitely one hell of a grind.
Next, they showed off a game called, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce it. I think it's Chia.
Yeah, I think that's it. It looks very...
It's spelled Tchia. I believe they pronounced it as Chia. In the trailer. Has a lot of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker vibes. The game is inspired by New Caledonia and seems like a fun tropical getaway. It's very kid-friendly and a juxtaposition from all the violence. So basically, the way this one looked is like... Definitely the art style does definitely look like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It's basically you're on an island, and the character you control, but I assume is Chia. I believe you're Chia.
With a T.
With a T. Chia. Chia. But your character can go around and control like all the animals on the island, and it seems like your objective is to... I guess I don't know what you're trying. I really don't know what the objective is, to be honest. All they really showed was your character controlling a bunch of animals, and the way they denote that is because your character has like a little flower on the side of her head, and whenever she's controlling an animal, the animal has the little flower on the side of their head too.
So basically, this game's origins came from Chia.
It kind of reminds me of in GTA 5 when you take the peyote plants or whatever, and you just randomly spawn in as like an animal and play as them.
Yes.
It literally looks almost exactly like that.
Yes.
In terms of
yeah, I was gonna say
that you just can randomly go up and control animals. Like they showed her controlling a crab, and she was able to like cut open like chains on a chest to open a treasure chest. They showed her playing as a sea turtle or whatever.
So it's one of those universally accepted games for everybody.
Basically.
Wow.
It was probably like the one like kid-friendly game in the showcase, which makes sense. They want to try to show something for everyone. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End will be getting a PS5 and PC remaster along with its expansion, Uncharted:
that's cool.
The Lost Legacy.
I know for a fact Ellis is probably going to cream his pants to that. I know how much he loves Uncharted. I like Uncharted 2, by the way. I just haven't really gone out to fully play them. But seeing my friends play them, like Ellis, it was incredible to see. So it's a great entertainment experience. I just don't know if I'd ever sit down to fully reminisce in that game, but yeah, that series I've seen a lot.
I played all four of them like right in a row for the first time. Cause
I was gonna say, you had the trilogy was on PlayStation Plus that 1 month, and you queued them, right? Wait, was it on PlayStation?
I mean, it was eventually on PlayStation Plus, but I bought it because I think the trilogy had been out for about a year at that point. But Uncharted 4 was coming out, and Steve, who I was game sharing with at the time, he was super hyped. He's like, oh, I can't wait for Uncharted 4. And I was like, I never played the other three. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, well, Steve's already buying Uncharted 4, so I'm getting that for free. I'll just take the money I would have spent on that, and I'll buy the Nathan Drake collection. And then I went through, platinumed all three games, started up Uncharted 4, platinumed that. And I really like the games a lot. And I also played Lost Legacy when that came out, and platinumed it as well. And hell, I'll take two more platinums. They're fun games to play and to platinum. So I'm pretty excited for that. I kind of wonder what they didn't announce a release date. I think they just said early 2022.
I was saying, yeah, I had a feeling. It seems like early 22 is a good wait for a lot of things. I mean, whether it's COVID or if it's dev issues or it's the whole at home and sending emails. You know, I can't even imagine how developers are during this pandemic, because you can't stuff everybody in a studio even if they're all vaccinated, just in case that happens.
The interesting thing to me, though, is that this is being made by Naughty Dog. And it's Naughty Dog has been rumored to be making like 16, not really 16, but there's been like at least 3 different projects that they've been rumored to be working on, and none of them was an Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy remaster. So definitely interesting. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I don't know. Like, I love Naughty Dog, but I feel like, especially for a studio that has been in the news a lot for having a horrible crunch, I feel like it still makes them way longer than I think it should to make some of the games they make. And I'm not saying that, like, they should put out shitty games and rush them out. But, I mean, Insomniac has put out a ton of fucking games recently, and they have said time and time again that they have not once crunched to put out a game recently. And just in the last less than a year, they put out Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Remastered, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, all without crunching. And they announced not one, but 2 new games at the showcase yesterday. They literally, I mean, I know it's in the name, but they literally don't fucking sleep.
They don't sleep?
They don't fucking sleep, JP. They're really insomniacs.
It's like Insomniac Gaming. What are you doing? Well, it's about 5:21 in the morning, and I'm making a mod. It's like, Jesus.
But regardless,
I'm on my 5th can of Monster.
I'm excited for The Lost Legacy and Uncharted 4 Remaster. There's also been rumors that they're remaking The Last of Us 1 from the ground up. There's been rumors that they're making, I mean, I don't even know if you would call it a rumor. They said that they were making some type of multiplayer mode for The Last of Us Part 2, which they've said has now expanded in scope to a point where they're just calling it a standalone multiplayer experience that they're working on. There's also been rumors for a while that they've been wanting to do some sort of like sci-fi game. And then I think there was even rumors that they were going to do like a full-on from the ground up remake of Uncharted 1. But none of those things pointed to this. So interesting to see. And Naughty Dog takes a while to make games. So I don't know which of those things we'll see next, if any of them. But, yeah. So after the Uncharted thing is where they were like, hey, we're about to smack you in the fucking face with some bangers, JP.
Oh, God.
They're like, hey,
this is it.
Here's all the fucking PlayStation Studios stuff. So first up, they start off by showing the Insomniac logo, and I'm fucking going crazy, JP. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's Spider-Man. It wasn't Spider-Man. Insomniac Games, the developers behind Marvel's Spider-Man, are returning to the superhero genre with a new Wolverine game. Wow. So, I mean, I don't even care that much about Wolverine, but knowing that Insomniac is making it and knowing that they don't fucking miss,
yeah,
I'm fucking hyped.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into all this stuff with like comics and heroes, but I gotta admit that does sound pretty good with Wolverine. I mean, they always made a damn good game. That Spider-Man game was.
Plus, not to mention, I don't know if they'll do it, but I would really love to see Insomniac make their own like Marvel gaming universe, and I would really love to see Wolverine interact with Spider-Man at some point.
Yeah, I'd be down for that if that happened. I haven't played a Wolverine game since the one back in the day in like 2003. I don't know. It was on like GameCube and PS2. That was the last one I played. You were getting comic books and stuff for secrets. Hey, I was interesting. I might have to play that game, boy.
Oh my god. So that was that. And then after that, for a little bit of a cool down, they gave a little bit of an in-depth glimpse at Gran Turismo 7, which is coming March 4th, 2022. Which I know not a ton of people are into GT7 or Gran Turismo in general. I never really messed around with Gran Turismo too much until the one that came out on PS4, which was Gran Turismo Sport. And I really liked that one. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited for GT7. It definitely looks like what you would expect as the next evolution from GT Sport. I mean, a lot of the stuff looks the same, just improved upon. So, I mean, I'm definitely excited for it. But then, JP, then they had the fucking gall, JP, to announce another Insomniac game.
Damn right.
Right after. And JP, they announced Spider-Man fucking 2! It seems that Insomniac Games will be very busy. Not only is the studio working on a Wolverine game, but it seems they're also jumping back into the world of Spider-Man, this time featuring Venom. Titled Spider-Man 2, it's slated to come out in 2023. So Spider-Man will be coming in 2023, Spider-Man 2 will be coming in 2023, and then Wolverine sometime after that. I would assume like 2024, 2025, but Insomniac's fucking insane, so who knows.
Maybe they'll put them out in the same year. Maybe they'll put them out in the same day.
It honestly could be like, you know, something similar to Miles Morales and then Ratchet and Clank, where it's like Spider-Man could come out in like fall and then Wolverine could come out in like the spring of the next year.
And then they had the gall. Spider-Man 2! I gotta watch that trailer. That's
dude,
gonna be dope as shit.
I was fucking screaming, dude. It was.
I bet you were literally. I bet your
beautiful.
household was like, "Damn, Josh is screaming."
Well, because see, they played it so fucking smart, JP. I can't even fucking believe it. So with the Wolverine trailer, they opened it with the Insomniac logo. So you're like, oh fuck, it's Spider-Man, and then slowly you realize the environment doesn't match Spider-Man.
You're like,
and then they do like the reveal that it's Wolverine, and you're like, oh fuck. And so then you're like, okay, well that's all we're gonna see from Insomniac.
oh man.
And then they show GT7, and then the next trailer starts, and it doesn't have any logo attached to it. It's just like a random street corner, and you hear some Russian guy talking, and all you see is like a lightning bolt like go up a power line or something like that. And so everyone's like, God. At first everyone's like, oh fuck, is this like Infamous or something? And then it's this Russian guy talking in the background, and then slowly they pan in and they show fucking Spider-Man, and then they show Miles, and they're fighting fucking people together. And I was like, oh,
You're like, ah!
Dude, I was fucking screaming. Just to get my reaction for the Spider-Man thing, I wish I would have been live streaming the thing.
Your house like, by God, Josh is screaming. I don't know what he's screaming about.
I was literally fucking screaming. If you guys don't know, Spider-Man on PS4 is like it's one of my favorite games of all time.
It's absolutely.
It's my favorite Spider-Man game. It's one of my favorite PS4 games. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Miles, I liked a lot. I don't think it's as good as the PS4 game. I think it's better in a lot of ways, but from the story perspective, I think that PS4 is a lot better. But I'm so fucking hyped.
And then there was that free platinum on Spider-Man PS5 when you transferred your save data.
That was cool. I didn't do that though. I was like, I'm playing through this game again. I don't give a fuck.
I was like, fuck, I'm going to popping on, popping out.
I completely, not only did I platinum the game again, but I fully 100%ed everything again. So my trophy completion is 100% because I did the platinum, did all the DLCs, and then did the New Game Plus trophy and everything. And I'm going to do it again for Spider-Man 2. And then they finished everything off by showing God of War Ragnarok, which is now its official title. That wasn't its official title before. Everyone was just like... Because all they showed was just God of War, and then at the end, like the teaser trailer they showed last year, it just said God of War, and then at the end it said Ragnarok is coming. So everyone assumed it was going to be called God of War Ragnarok, but that wasn't wasn't officially revealed until yesterday that is the official title. They gave a pretty good glimpse at it. Like there's a lot of like different gameplay and different scenes and stuff. It looks really fucking good. I mean, it looks like, again, the natural evolution from where they left off with God of War 2018. I absolutely love that game. That is my favorite PS4 game. And, yeah, I can't wait. Kratos is gonna fuck Thor up, maybe, I think, probably. And it's gonna be fucking crazy.
Nice.
And boy got big. Boy went through puberty. Which, I mean, it makes sense that they had to do it that way, though, because the kid that they cast, obviously, is going through puberty, too. Because he was like... He was like 8 years old, I think, when they cast him originally for the first God of War. And then it took them like 5 years to make that game. And so now he's like, I don't know, 15 or something.
Jesus. So wow, he's got a great game.
But boy has grown.
Boy.
But,
wow.
Yeah, they didn't.
Was that the whole event?
Yep, they didn't have like a release date or anything for God of War. I think they just said 2022. If that, I don't even know if they gave a release window. I'm not gonna lie.
They were like, the boy comes to life, 2020.
The boy will return.
The boy will. Just do a Hulk Hogan. Just rip my. JP, why'd you rip that beautiful shirt? Because I don't need a shirt.
But
that was good. Sounds like quite an event. I wish you would have got a video of yourself screaming when Spider-Man was unveiled. I think that would have been a nice little touch. That would have been funny.
I regret it so fucking much because I had a feeling that they were going to show it. And like for a while I was in denial that they were going to show it. I was like, there's no fucking way. They just put out Miles 10 months ago. You know, Ratchet and Clank just came out like 3 months ago. I was like, there's no fucking way that they're going to show anything other than like a logo.
And then it happened.
And then like, I don't remember, a couple minutes before the event started, there was like insiders like posting random shit, teasing shit. And I remember seeing someone, I don't remember who it was, maybe it was Jeff Grubb. But somebody was like, oh, expect something, superheroes, something or another. He's like, oh, here's what to expect today. And it was like, you know, gods, superheroes, and something else. And I was like, superheroes? And then I was like, I like talked myself out of it. I was like, it's probably just Guardians of the Galaxy, or maybe like they might show, because there's supposed to be a Spider-Man like character coming for that Avengers game that nobody likes. So I was like, they'll probably just tease that. I was like, they're not gonna show it. They're not gonna show Spider-Man 2. And then they did, and fuck, I'm so fucking happy, JP.
I believe it.
I put out probably the world's greatest tweet ever after the showcase, and not a single, well, I think maybe one person liked it. And I'm not gonna lie, it should have at least 1 billion likes right now.
1 billion, bajillion.
So I Googled how many days until January 1st, 2023, and it was like 479. And I was like, me realizing I have to wait at least 479 days to play Spider-Man 2. And then I put in a GIF from Avengers Infinity War of Spider-Man saying, I don't feel so good. And I was like, fuck you guys, this deserves 1 billion likes.
This deserves 1 billion likes right now. Admiral Nelson, I need you to retweet this, sir. Why would I do that? Because you want to. Like, but sir, my name's Major. No, you're Admiral. You gotta retweet it right now. That's pretty dope. I gotta say, I'm ready for Spider-Man 2. I'm ready for Grand Theft Auto 5. And Nickelodeon Brawl sounds pretty interesting. I don't know if I'll pick that up, but I am gonna do Nicktoons Racing 2 and stream that bitch pretty soon. Yeah, it definitely seemed like one hell of a showcase. I know a lot of points. A lot of my friends are probably going to be very, very excited. Ellis was very, very happy with the event.
Yeah.
Seeing Uncharted come back in all its glory, I can see why. There were so many like highs of that conference. I mean, honestly, I think the low points are just the delays.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any other downside other than delays, which, in today's world, I mean, with dev cycles, COVID, I mean,
yeah.
Even movies are getting pushed. Like, Jackass Forever is now February 4th. It's not October 22nd. Like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen next anymore. But it's going to be very interesting, and we have a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll get it right away, but I'm definitely interested to see what that KOTOR remake ends up being. I am, again, cautiously optimistic to see what the expanded and enhanced ends up being for GTA 5. What else? I'm obviously, you guys know, I'm fucking ready for Spider-Man 2. If they make a Spider-Man 2 PS5, I don't even know what the fuck I'll do. I'll fucking shit. And I'll probably try to buy it. Speaking of which, I think PlayStation should just make, instead of making special edition consoles, I think they should just make special edition faceplates for the console.
They really
which is something that I feel like we would have seen already. I mean, there's a ton of different brands that do stuff like that already, but that's neither here nor... Well, a lot of things don't actually sell faceplates themselves. They sell, like, stickers that you put on the faceplate, but whatever. Spider-Man 2, super fucking hyped for, of course. Wolverine, super fucking hyped for.
I'm not gonna lie, like the guy at Game Share with is probably gonna get it, so I might just check out Wolverine, because if it's going to be on the same engine style as Spider-Man, but Wolverine's universe, I think I'd be very interested in checking that out, because Insomniac Games, I don't know, they just create so many marvels that, like, you don't have to be a fan. Like, I'm not a superhero comic book guy, but yet I love the Spider-Man game. You know, you could actually make people believers in what you put out. And that's what they're more than likely going to do again. And 3 times if we count Wolverine. So I guess we'll see what happens. It should be very, very interesting.
And then, of course, yeah, like I said, I'm also hyped for God of War. I'm hyped for that Uncharted remaster or whatever. I mean, I think I probably would have preferred a new Uncharted game, which has also been rumored for a long-ass time. But Hey, I'll take any Uncharted I can get at this point, because who knows what they're actually doing with it.
I know, right? Exactly.
It was rumored that that PlayStation was making a new studio exclusively to work on an Uncharted game. Because Naughty Dog, I guess, not that they didn't want to do it anymore, but they kind of like sunset everything with Uncharted 4.
Yeah, Naughty Dog usually sunsets everything at their own pace. And then other developers carry on that legacy, so I'm sure that's exactly what is going to happen in this case as well.
But yeah.
But damn, that was an all-star banger of a return to podcasting and to the podcast world, the HexxedPhenom universe.
Oh God.
Feels good to be back.
Definitely does.
Damn right.
Guys, you have anything else to say?
And you bet your ass we'll be back every week.
Of course, guys, this has been episode 1 of the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, which posts every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom, and also on the HexxedPhenom Gamescast YouTube channel, and on podcast services around the globe, places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, really any podcast service of your choosing.
By God.
And yeah, we bring you the video game news you need to know about. And it was a great first episode to come back for with the PlayStation Showcase. Definitely provided a lot of great conversation.
Damn right, without a doubt.
And
I guess we, I don't know. Did you think of a fancy way to end the podcast?
that's why I stalled. I was like, fuck. I was like, another one bites the crust was so good for pizza and pixels.
Another one bites the crust is just so epic. Well, we don't have any pizza in our hand.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure you'll definitely figure out one hell of a catchphrase.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll have to workshop it for now. But until next time, guys. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And Phenom, out.